Hello, everyone! This past year, I started making my own media journal. I was very inspired when I found out what a reading journal was, but realized that even with the best intentions, I do not read that much. So this is for keeping record of my thoughts on all the media I consume. Plus, I needed a way to use the abundance of journals I own, like this adorable My Hero Academia themed one. For the longest time, I didn't want to use it because I liked it too much. It's nowhere near finished, but let's take a look. I always leave the first page of any journal blank. I find it helps overcome that need for perfection and makes it easier to start. This is the title page. It says Media Journal, Adventure Bound, and at the bottom, Fiction reveals truths that reality obscures. The background is made from scraps of sheet music and an old book of popular tales. The story on this page is from Beowulf. I use a lot of scraps from books, magazines, and paper in my spreads. Also, a lot of washi tape and stickers. I'll provide links to them in the description. This is my index, using more scraps from the storybook and the actual index from the book. I really enjoy the look of the ragged edge of torn paper and warm colors. Next is my TBR spread, which I should have left myself a lot more room for. For this, I used torn pieces from old topographical maps. Maps just really feel appropriate for a media journal. I have a recommended to me spread, so I can keep track of who recommends which title to me. The stickers on this spread say, "I'm wondering what to read next," and "I think I'm ready for another adventure." This is my most anticipated spread for keeping track of release dates. I wish it were longer, but there hasn't been much coming out recently that's had me super excited. I do love the way this spread looks, though. And this is a list for my recommendations, based on what I've consumed since starting this journal. Don't worry about one being on there twice. I just really recommend it if you're into epic movies. I used a gold Posca marker for the title, and the stickers say, "We read to know we are not alone," and "Of course you can trust me, we read the same books." This spread is for anything I'd like to revisit, like authors, series, or books I had read as a child. I used a lot of stickers in this spread. One says, "We are made of stories," and the other says, "A book is a dream that you hold in your hands." Next is my book wish list. I will color the squares in when I add them to my collection. I own way too many physical books and have to be a bit pickier about what I add to my collection these days. I feel like this spread is just a bit too boring and square, though. Now, onto my media entries. I tried to match the look of my title page, but added in a bit of map. It says Media Entries, Fables and Strange Tales, then Once Upon a Time. My first media entry in this journal is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. These next pages record my thoughts on the book and have copies of passages that I enjoyed or thought were noteworthy. I also added a page for my playlist inspired by this story. The next entry is Crooked Kingdom, the sequel to Six of Crows. Some of these scraps were from my first attempt at tea staining paper. This is just a dividing spread, but I love the look of it. I used scraps from the old storybook, magazines, and a pamphlet from Powell's, which is the best bookstore. It says, "Once you visit, you won't want to leave. The city of books. Leave ordinary behind, it'll change the way you think. Lose yourself in a book." I added a spread for taking note of my favorite characters from media. This is definitely not a ranked list, and I've just been adding characters as I think of them. The latest spread I finished was for the movie The Yin Yang Master, Dream of Eternity. I love the way this looks. I used a lot more washi tape than usual, but it seemed fitting. Since this was a movie, I wrote more of my thoughts than any quotes or passages. And that's as far as I've gotten so far. Again, I'm not making record of everything I read or watch, though that might be fun to try someday. I definitely have more entries planned, so I will probably do another video in the future. Feel free to leave spread suggestions for me. Thanks for watching!